The IT capability of Asda is interesting in the sense that before Walmart, I think our IT capability was pretty ancient, pretty fragmented. It had grown from a 60s mainframe type situation into lots of applications going on board. Lots of the technology was bespoke and had been designed for particular solutions, but it wasn't particularly strategic. Becoming part of Walmart gave us a huge leap in technology in terms of becoming part of the largest company in the world, with computer power second only to NASA. In terms of how the Asda board feel about IT, they feel that it's not going fast enough, and they are constantly challenging where things are going. So in essence, their frustration is palpable at every particular juncture because they see a customised version in a smaller player in country where someone's gone faster to a solution that we can't get to. And I think there's a continual tension between the delivery of the IT function and the demands of the line directors. I think in terms of whether the board gets it around IT, I think most boards now have moved to a place where they understand the power of systems and technology solutions. And I think most of them are actually hungry for things to go quicker. And I think they've seen the power of the solutions that can actually move their business faster and provide lower costs, which is what most businesses are about, particularly in the middle of a recession. I think the question of whether IT sits on the board and the level in which it operates in the organisation does very much depend upon individuals. If individuals have the relevant amount of personal clout and charisma, then they'll sit at the board table. If they don't, they won't. And I don't think that's any different for the IT function than it is for any other function. Whether it's more strategically important is a question that's probably a moot point. It may well be, and therefore it may be a position that becomes more important at board level than it is today. Could cloud computing come into the Walmart world? I don't know. I think there's a tremendous caution about the firewall of the business and protection of the system. It's back to the reliability point I was making, that the system cannot be allowed to fall over. There's a great deal of protectionism around information because obviously the US is paranoid about being sued on any one of a number of fronts at any time. And therefore allowing the global IT world to just drift into the company is something that I think is culturally very difficult to accept. I think there's a real tension between what people have got at home and what they've got in the office. And I think there is always a resistance around organisations in terms of letting people into the global space. What we've tried to do is be as open as possible to let people have access to all the web information. I think web technology is here to stay, it's here to be exploited. And I think organisations have got to try and not be frightened of it. I think if you're not blogging, then the world blogs about you. You can't ignore these things. One of the things that we've tried to do is get the CEO out there, making sure he's interacting with people and that there's some control over that in terms of anybody trying to abuse it. There's use of first names and there is real interaction taking place. That people in the organisation can go on the web and actually get information that they need. And that if they do a bit of personal stuff, what does it matter? Because at the end of the day, there is a real meshing between home and work in any case. We sat down at one of our strategic 5-year planning sessions a couple of years ago, and we had a daughter of one of our employees in to talk to us about how she was using technology and how that was changing her behaviour. And she came in and we had Bebo up on the wall via the PC projector, and she took us to her own particular website and her own particular entries, and she was very proud to tell us that she had 60 best friends registered. She was the most popular girl in her year. And we asked her about the music she listened to, the kind of things that influenced her. And she talked very eloquently. She was about 14. She came in with her mum. And she talked about how this was affecting her behaviour. And we asked all the obvious questions. Do you now take all your music cues from what you see on Bebo? And she said, oh no. It all comes from what we talk about in class at school, which is very much how it was for me when I was a youngster. So one of the things that we've tried to examine as a board is what is technology doing to people's behaviour? And interestingly, people's behaviour is very different with the technology, but their actual spending behaviour, which is what really matters, is very much as it was 25 years ago. I think in 5 years' time, the IT function at Asda will look very different. I think it will be probably smaller. I think it will have more links into customised houses. I think you will see people who are able to take particular bespoke solutions. You'll see others who are actually managing the overall transactional relationship between the US and also the various information houses themselves. So the talent that you're looking for are the real innovators, are the people who are going to go into new places You're not looking for the traditional programmer that we all know from the 70s, 80s and 90s.